everybody, and today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag. It's that time of year again, and everybody's doing this tag, and so I guess I'm just doing it too. Before we get started, I want to reach back here to our Booktuber Shoutout book, and we're going to shout out somebody. Let's see who we've got. Today's shout out goes to Sarah without an H. I really like her channel because she just kind of does a little bit of everything. So I will leave a link up above and down below, and be sure to go over and subscribe to her. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my Spanish booktube channel, and please give this video a big fat like. So a few days ago, I did a poll asking you guys, where are you at with your reading goals? Are you meeting those reading goals, or are you far behind? So 25% of you said that you've already finished some of your reading goals, that you're way ahead. So well done, you that are the 25%. You guys are way ahead of the rest of us. 23% of you said, I am on track with my reading goals. So again, oh, you guys are doing way better than me because I am not on track. 25% of you said, I'm a little behind, but I can catch up by the end of the year. So that's the tier that I'm in. I'm definitely behind, but I am confident that I can catch up by the end of the year. 10% of you said, I am way too far behind to catch up. And God bless you, I know what that feels like. And 16% of you said, I didn't set any reading goals for this year. And I have to say kudos to you, because that is the kind of free and easy life goals that most of us really should have. But I don't know, I guess we feel like we need to prove ourselves by setting resolutions and goals and stuff. Oh well, whatever floats your boat. Either way is good. As long as you're reading, that's the important thing. At the time of filming, I have so far read 66 books this year. So those are the books that I'm going to be choosing from. That's not counting the picture books and activity books and other little things that I've read and reviewed as well. Our first question is the best book you've read so far in 2021. This is really hard to choose from, but I think I'm gonna say 3-Act Tragedy by Agatha Christie. This book just surprised me so much and just took me on this roller coaster mystery adventure. And of course it's a Poirot, and I just love Poirot. So somehow this book just checked off all those little boxes of everything that you could ever want in a mystery. I've been reading a lot of Poirot this year, but I think this one is probably my favorite that I've read so far this year. Question number 2, the best sequel you've read so far in 2021. I actually have 2 for this. One of them is Cold-Blooded Myrtle by Elizabeth C. Bunce. This is the 3rd book in the Myrtle Hardcastle murder mystery series. These are just the cutest middle grade mysteries, and they're just so cozy and fun and clever. I am completely in love with the Myrtle books. And the other one is, I think, the 5th book in the Explorer Academy series, Tiger's Nest by Trudy Truitt. So this is a middle grade adventure series that is being published by National Geographic, and it is so interesting. I mean, there's adventure and spies and intrigue. They're traveling all around the world to try to save different species and plants and all kind of different ecosystems. So you actually get to learn a lot about history and all the different places they visit that is real, true facts. And then, of course, you have a fun adventure along the way. Question number 3, a new release you haven't yet read yet, but you want to. I have actually already received an ARC copy of Skunk and Badger, the 2nd book, which is Egg Marks the Spot. I loved the first Skunk and Badger book by Amy Timberlake, and I just fell in love with Skunk and Badger. This is so similar to kind of like a Wind in the Willows sort of vibe, and I adore Wind in the Willows. And so I'm very excited to read this next one. I will be reading that soon. Number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I think it's hard to choose, but I think that might be Enola Holmes and the Black Barouche by Nancy Springer. I actually read all of the Enola Holmes books years and years ago before there was a movie or anything. So I'm very excited to see that she is continuing the series, but I'm also kind of a little apprehension there because I'm not sure what direction that's going to take. I hope that it stays true to the original story because I do like Enola Holmes. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment so far this year. That is definitely the Bronte graphic novel that I read by Manuela Santoni. This book just took the lives of the Bronte sisters and like skewed it all to this really dark place. And the personalities of the sisters were represented as being very belligerent and mean and just really selfish and rude and ugh. And I've read a couple of different biographies of the Bronte sisters and I'm just like, where are you getting this from? This is not the real history. So I was just very angry at this book. I was angry. Question number 5, the biggest surprise. I think I'm gonna say Summers at Castle Auburn. This is by Sharon Shin and it completely blew me away. I was just expecting a sort of, kind of a basic fantasy, blah, blah, blah. And then it was just so much more. This is about a young lady who is the illegitimate daughter of a nobleman, and so every summer she visits the castle to be trained and groomed for a life among the nobility, but the rest of the year she just lives in her little village. And so she's having to navigate all these court intrigues and stuff, and she befriends some elven magical people who are slaves in the castle. There are just so many layers to the plot and the different characters, and there's so many complex relationships, and there's a really great and really fun sibling relationship that I love. Number 7, your favorite new author, either a debut author or a new to you author. I think I'm gonna say Lewis Stowell. I read The Dragon in the Library, which is a middle grade fantasy about a little girl who goes to the library and discovers that there are magical properties in the books. It was just such a clever and fun and just a refreshing story. It was so imaginative. Completely fell in love with the writing style and the characters and everything. I really hope I can read more books from this author. Number 8, your newest fictional crush. This is gonna be really weird. You guys are gonna be like, okay, she is a strange person. Because my newest fictional crush is Shellhound from a Redwall book, Hyrule Lane by Brian Jacques. So Shellhound is an otter. He's a Robin Hood type of outlaw otter. So it's very weird that my fictional crush is on an animal character. But I can't help it. He's such a handsome, dashing Robin Hood kind of character, and I just loved all of his dialogue and the way he would inspire the outlaws to start a rebellion against oppression and all that good thing. So, I mean, I might have a thing for that Robin Hood type character. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, do you guys think I am just the weirdest weirdo ever because I have a crush on an otter? That just sounds so wrong. Oh my goodness. Okay, moving on. Number 9, your newest favorite character. Just so that I'm not repeating the same books, I'm going to choose a different character from other books because I mean, like, my real favorite character is Myrtle. But I think I'm gonna say Solveig from Icefall by Matthew J. Kirby. In this book, Solveig has such a huge amount of character development. She really begins to kind of analyze the personalities of the characters around her and to see different dynamics in different relationships, and she kind of comes to a new understanding of the social order and just who she can trust. And man, there's just so much good meat in there for those characters and the character development and everything. I really, really fell in love with Solveig's character in this story. Number 10, a book that made you cry. Now, I am a crier. I tend to cry a lot, but a book that I reread this year that made me cry quite a bit was the Emily of New Moon trilogy by L.M. Montgomery. This is kind of a little bit of a, not necessarily darker, but just more sad. It's not as humorous, and so there are more sad scenes or sad circumstances in the characters' lives. So, yeah, this is one that always makes me cry. Number 11, a book that made you happy. I reread Island of the Ants by Eva Ibbotson. I think this is my 3rd or 4th time reading it, and every time I read it, it just fills me with so much joy. Just so much happiness. It's just so imaginative and sweet and touching and exciting. I just love Island of the Ants. Eva Ibbotson just has some kind of special magic to write the most amazingly beautiful stories. Number 12, the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. I think that's probably Kiki's delivery service. I do have a soft spot in my heart for Kiki because I love the Studio Ghibli movie. I have not read the book yet, so that's definitely on my TBR for this year. But I just love the beautiful artwork on this cover. It's just so pretty. Number 13, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. I am actually pretty far behind with my reading goals for this year. Oh boy, I'm really gonna have to do some serious reading in order to catch up. So one of my goals was that I wanted to read at least 4 Spanish books, and I have not read any books in Spanish yet. I'm doing the Agatha Christie readathon, and I think I still have 8 books left. I want to finish reading all the rest of the Redwall books. That's a series that I really want to just let's finish it all up. And I enjoy Redwall so much. So I read through them pretty quickly because I'm enjoying them so much. So I think I have 3 more, maybe 4 more in the Redwall series to read. One of my goals for this year is to read 12 classics. And so far I have read 7. So I have 5 more classics to go. And that's pretty much it. Those are some of my reading plans for the rest of the year. So many books that still need to get read. So many. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what are some books that you still need to read for the rest of this year. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.